If that works. Hello, Timothy. Excuse me. I hope you're doing well. Um, it might be just me tonight, or it might be me and Boo. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what is up. Um, okay. Yay. So that's there. Let me make sure that this is also the thing. I'm good. You? I'm certainly here. I'm doing, I'm doing definitely okay. Um, yeah, no, there we go. Some stuff has been going on that, you know, has been less than ideal, but, that's okay. Um, I'm dealing. I'm good. Enough. Oh. But, um, yeah, so my computer decided the other day, that it wasn't going to work anymore. And I was like, huh, okay, that's weird. And I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit. I was in Discord talking about it as well in our Discord server, um, and I thought that my computer was just fucked basically, and it has a component for the motherboard to show codes, right? Very useful, very helpful for diagnosing what's going on. Hello, Pizza Funk. Hello, Draco Kraken. Yeah, so my computer has a very useful little thing for showing codes on the motherboard. And the motherboard codes, I thought were saying 15 and L6. And I was talking to some people, and the the motherboard is upside down in my computer, and I didn't know that, so I was an idiot, and I was reading them wrong, and then once I read them right, I went, oh, okay, um, and we figured out, oh, it actually means that the graphics card isn't working, and so I tested it in two different slots on my motherboard, reseated it and everything, and it just wouldn't work. So my 4070 is now right over here next to me. I don't know if you can't, I can't make you hear it. Uh, kind of. Um, it's a paperweight now. So there you go. Now you can kind of hear it. Sorry. It's a paperweight now. And I have to use my 2060 that I had before. Bad skipping on both computer and phone. Oh shit. Hang on. Hmm. Hold on. Let's see if OBS decides that it's going to work. I forgot to do this before. Is it good now? Are we live now? Hello? Hold on. 2 seconds. Hello? Okay. I think we're good. Okay, you hear me again. Okay. All right, we're good. Sorry about that. Hello. Hi. Dice and rolling and chat scrolling. Good, 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 good. Okay. Wow, woohoo! Sorry about that, everybody. That sucks. Hopefully it's more stable now. I think that was my VPN. That was my VPN's fault. I apologize. Well, welcome back to Table Talk Discussion and Discourse, everybody. I'm your host, Alejo, aka Great95. Good to see you, everybody. Hello, Dave. You were not here before when I was saying hello to everybody. But yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so the PC, the computer, the graphics card decided to crap out, so now I have a very cool paperweight. And I'm using my 2060 that was in my previous computer, so that this can work. Welcome to Scuff Week. That's true. It's always Scuff Week on the Table Talk Discussion and Discourse show. I said before, I don't know if Boo is going to be coming on, but Aiden will not be. So it's just going to be me for a little bit, unless I hear otherwise. Also, for those of you in the actual chat and everything, I do have a cool, expensive paperweight. Yes, I do. It came with my computer when I bought it, so it's only a year old. Ha 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 ha. It only lasted a year. I have a friend of mine who is sending me their old 3060 Ti, so I'll at least have that to work with after this, which is good, because the 2060 is not up to snuff, and at some point I plan on buying a better one, but that is not going to happen anytime soon, because, you know, money and things, right? So but yeah, I was basically an idiot looking at codes upside down and reading them incorrectly until we were able to figure it out. And then when I plugged in my 2060, it worked immediately. My computer turned on just like that. And I was like, cool, hell yeah, awesome. Good evening, I'm glad to see that the stream is running smoothly with no technical difficulties. That's right, we never have them. Never ever. Hello Shara, hello Entropy. Not one single problem we can prove that we have seen. That's true. You can't prove it. It'll just be a cut in the VOD. Wahoo! Anyway, that being said, thankfully this coming week for work is going to be a little lower in terms of stress and effort and stuff that I need to do at work. So, hoping that we have some more time to do some more digital distraction streams. That'll be interesting. Found a video that might be good for the show. Alignment Isn't Outdated by Esper the Bard. Haven't seen it yet, but that title though, that's a good title. Potentially at some point, yeah. Why do we have an XP score? Good question. So apparently YouTube has now implemented, for those of you in actual YouTube chat right now, it's implemented this like top fans thing. So like I can look at who has chatted the most, I guess, or something. I don't really know. But when I look at it, it looks like Pizza Funk is the #1. So good job, Pizza Funk. Keep it up, right? Hello, Shin. So yeah, I don't know. YouTube has been implementing some stuff that Twitch has had, I guess, which is good, because Twitch is one of those sites of all time, for sure. And I have my issues with Twitch these days, so I don't know. XP is so goofy, it doesn't do much and has a cooldown on XP earn. I don't know. I like, hello everyone, I'm #2 when it says #3. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's gonna be weird, but just, you know, I guess if it matters to you, cool. If you want to make your XP big, do it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna read chat as usual when we're doing this. So, yeah. So is chat leaderboard on another channel? It's something, all right. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if there's a way for me to be able to turn it off. That's not something that I've checked. but it's definitely a thing. Anywho, so tonight, I was originally hoping that Boo was gonna be here for this video, this first video, but we're gonna check it out anyway, because it was one that was suggested by Boo, in fact, a while back. So as you've seen in the title, we're gonna be talking about the best combat system and problems with talking about D&D. It's a Matthew Colville video. This first one, though, is coming to us from Evan at NimbleCo. So it's I don't know. It's something about Nimble, which is I think it's a revamped 5e thing. I think. So let's go and check it out a little bit. Hey. So, your best TTRPG combat ever. Nimble TTRPG. Again, this is Evan at NimbleCo. Here we go.
The dense forest is eerily quiet as your party moves cautiously through the underbrush. Crush, give me a perception check.
4.
You feel the snap of the goblin's tripwire moments too late. The trap is sprung. Before you know it, you are ensnared in a net and surrounded by a pack of greedy goblins. Everybody, roll initiative. Crush, you get to go first. In Nimble 5e, there is instant initiative. You can get into combat right away. No waiting for everyone else to find their dice and roll and look up the modifier and talk over each other and wait for the GM to write it all down. No, whoever's ready first goes first.
Okay. Let's read the instant initiative thing first off. Instant initiative. Get right into combat. When combat begins, by default, heroes go first. Whichever player is ready first goes first, or whoever makes the most sense story-wise, with play proceeding around the table clockwise. The GM can hold all of the monsters' turns to the end of the round, or interleave their turns between the heroes' turns as the story demands. Apologies, I've never seen the word interleave before. Is that supposed to be? I don't actually know that word. Interleave. Insert pages, typically blank ones, between the pages of a book. Mix 2 or more digital signals by alternating between them. I would say interweave, personally. But sure, we can go with interleave. Very strange. Is this a video? I thought it was an ad. So it is I think this is supposed to be it's supposed to promote Nimble, the TTRPG system. And it's got a lot of, it's supposed to be the best, your best TTRPG combat ever. So we're going to go through it, and kind of determine if this really is the best. But yeah, interleave is a very strange choice for me, at least. So this is fine to have as a combat system, right? I have no problem with that, but the ultimate problem that I have is this. Everybody seems to really be upset with something like finding their dice, which sometimes people don't have their dice out. Okay, that's fine. Rolling, then looking up their modifier. It's on your sheet, like, easily. Talk over each other. Well, so usually, at least in my experience, people wait for their DM or their GM to look at them and say, hey, what's your initiative? They write it down. Hey, what's your initiative? They write it down. Hey, what's your initiative? They write it down. Now, again, this is not always the case because it also depends on the system. But if we're talking about something like D&D, I guess, yeah, sure. On an occasion, you're going to have the need for people to sit down and wait for these kinds of things to happen. And it's just like, I don't see it as an issue. People really want these things to go fast, okay? And I get that. I understand that to a degree. And this is fine to do, but it's not a problem. I don't think it's a problem. I never feel... Now, and again, this is just me, but I never feel like my immersion is fucking seeping away slowly and dying in the corner whenever an initiative check is happening, right? I never feel that. So, and I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe a lot of people do. In which case, hey, I'm sorry. Do do whatever you need, right? Whoever solves the Rubik's Cube first gets the top initiative spot. That's right. Exactly. Why would people talk over each other? So it's the thing of like people getting, very excited with rolling out their initiative and then saying, "Oh, I got an 11. Oh, I got a 12." Like all at the same time to try to make sure the DM knows their initiative, right? And I can see that happening, sure. But I don't know. At some point, everybody kind of gets it after the first or second time of like, okay, let's just wait for like a second. And the DM can then say, hey, what's your initiative? And then go along the line, right? And again, looking at your own, like, having this be a weird, like, step in the process of something that is incredibly quick, usually, to go, oh, I've rolled, oh, that's a 10, I have a +5, 15, right? I don't know. It's and the find their dice thing is not always going to apply. I don't know. Because it's I guess if you have your dice in front of you and you don't have the D20 in a good place and you have to look for it for a second or something, I don't know. Yeah, that happens sometimes, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. But again, this whole thing is fine to do. Something like Call of Cthulhu, something like Delta Green, they all just go, oh, what's your dexterity? What's that, like, stat? Okay, that's going to be your stat all the time, and you can literally just plug it in every time. The way that a lot of people have modified D&D, at least, is like having them roll beforehand and kind of putting it into place beforehand if you want to, right? So I don't know. You might not want to encourage expectations that are going to become a headache for you. Well, for like having them wait or something, or what? What do you mean? Because like I don't know, this whole thing, again, it doesn't seem like it's a problem. I don't see why it needs to be written out like it is a problem necessarily, but I get that you're trying to say, oh, our thing lets us do things in a very narrative way, which again, there's a market for this. I understand this. It's not necessarily something that is a be all end all. Oh, going fast becoming a headache. Yes, true.
Him to write it all down. No, whoever's ready first goes first. Your initiative roll only matters to you, and it doesn't determine when you can go, rather how much you can do on your first turn.
If your initiative roll is a single digit, you start combat with 1 action. If the result is 2 digits, you get 2, and the result of 20 nets you all 3 actions. Okay, and I assume everybody gets their 3 actions after the first round?
Crush rolled double digits, so he can do 2 things on his first turn.
Oh yes, I rage and then I attack.
To attack, you just roll the damage dice. The half a dozen.
Oh. Your heroes, attacks just hit. Don't waste your time rolling to see if you can deal damage. Just roll your damage dice, you deal that much damage. Okay. Okay. So... Auto hits, right? How do we feel about auto hits? Because I personally think that the auto hits kind of thing doesn't necessarily, like, it doesn't really work for me, at least. I like the idea of fate kind of being a part of the game in a way, right? Because that's that's what the dice are. They're just there to determine whether or not you're going to succeed or fail in some instances, right? If I roll and it's just like, oh, okay, it's a 10, and then I have a +2. Oh no, I don't hit, but you barely scrape, Like, it becomes a it becomes a it takes away that kind of narrative device a little bit for me, at least, to dictate what failures look like, I guess, right? So if the character does kind of roll and then gets lower than the AC, then it's like, oh, you've barely scraped by, or it dodged out of the way, or caught the blade in its crossguard and swung it away enough so that it could rebalance itself to try to not let you have that same blind spot that you took advantage of in that moment, right? Like something like that, right? It gives you that opportunity to make it into more of a narrative scenario. And yes, I understand that having that be the case all the time can be kind of taxing, I guess, in a way, right? Where you have to come up with more and more narrative scenarios to really talk about, and sometimes it can devolve into the whole I swing my sword, I hit. But that's usually, at least for us, that's usually after, rounds and rounds of combat have gone by, right? And then we make the special moments more special because, a crit happens, or we're in a moment of, an enemy is defeated, or some sort of special thing is something that the characters want to do. The players want to do for the characters and all that kind of stuff, right? So I don't know. It just seems like we're taking away that bit for some reason when we do the whole just hit. I can understand the first time that goblin jump scared me. The second time it jump scared me just makes me disappointed in myself. Yes, exactly. Auto hits might get annoying. Potentially, I don't know. I guess if it's the same on both sides, it's just the expectation, right? That's fine. You just get used to it. But I don't know. If this is... I don't know. For me, it seems like it takes away a bit of a narrative. Seems like the goal is an even more simplified D&D. Potentially. We'll see. I kind of get the thinking behind it. Enemies get damage reduction instead of an AC, and you have to beat it through a solid strength or dex roll. Yeah, I guess if we're going for damage reduction, that's fine. Like, it just means that AC is now just your flat reduction instead of the number that you need to meet, right? To hit something, which is fine. That would be fine if that's how this goes. Again, we'll see, I suppose, right?
Steps in 5e have been streamlined into one.
Okay, so we're directly comparing. This is very blatant.
Roll the damage dice. The half a dozen steps in 5.
So roll a d20, check your character sheet, add a modifier to that number, sure. Notify the DM of the result, sure. DM checks monster stat block for the AC, then lets the player know if they hit or miss. Yup. Players will miss about 50% of the time. Sure. On a hit, player rolls more dice, check the character sheet again, add yet another modifier to the result, and announce the damage. Okay. Yeah. But why? So why is this a problem? It goes as fast as we can make it go, I guess. Is this taking up so much time? Like, and this is all at the, like, if we were to talk about characters at, like, 15th to 20th level, sure, we might have a lot more going on that is a little bit more time-consuming, right? That's definitely something that could be the case. But we're talking about low-level characters. And low-level characters are pretty quick maths, right? So I don't... And not everybody can do quick maths, I get that, I understand that. But, yeah, most games can skip step 5 by rolling damage with the attack. That is also true, right? Hell, sometimes they don't even need to tell the DM what they got as an attack because they can roll it out in front of them. And the DM has their AC, after that first couple of times, the DM has that AC in their head, so they go, nope, nope, right? Like, or, yes, do your damage, you know? Oh, it takes this much damage, right? Like, there are little ways that we can quicken this, right? It's fine. This is feeling math bad. Like, I get the idea, but the video is kind of snarky in a weird way. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not gonna give it that just yet, right? Like, I understand the comparison. You're going for that market, right? You're going for the market of people who really just want to go, right? Which is fine to go for as the market that you're trying to reach. But I don't know. It's not hitting for me the same way. Because I've never found this to be a problem.
IV have been streamlined into one single step. 15 damage, that's exactly enough to send that goblin to the afterlife. His turn over, he gets all 3 actions back, ready for his next turn.
Now, I will say, I do like action economy being just actions. That's something that we've seen in Pathfinder 2e, right? Action economy is neat in this way. Where you get things that cost 2 or all 3 or 1, and you can do multiple in a round depending on how you utilize them, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that to me. That's fine. You know, we'll do shit in that way. There is nothing wrong with this. I also thinking about the kind of surprise mechanic aspect of the fights, right? The start of the fight being your roll to see if you get 1, 2, or 3 actions. I also am quite a fan of that. I think that that's neat to have to show the readiness of characters. I don't know if there's something in this to maybe make it so that it makes it so that, like, let's say like there's a feat that makes you go, oh, anytime an attack a combat starts, you don't have to roll, you just get 2 actions, right? That would be neat to have, to, like, give to a character who has, like, a high, I don't know, wisdom score, intelligence score, I don't know. You could tie it to something, right? Maybe it's a feat that you have to build into, and so it becomes that end goal for that character a little bit more, that you can maybe get at, like, you could maybe get to that step at, like, level 5 or, like, level 7, so that it becomes, like, a mid kind of game kind of thing. That you've worked towards by getting to a certain level plus a certain prerequisite feat, right? That'd be neat. That way you can then say, oh, well, now I'm just okay in most situations. That's good. You'll never get 3 actions at the start of a fight, but that's the build that you've chosen to play, right? And again, I don't know if that's in this at all. That'd be very cool, I feel, in something like this kind of system. If we're gonna go fast all the time, I think it would benefit it, right? Do love the 3 action pip economy. Yeah. Just 3, or can it go higher? I wouldn't go higher than 3. I think 3 is perfect. I think we've seen 3 be a very good amount of actions that we can just kind of utilize in these systems. So
Stabs, your go.
Ow, a 1 on my initiative. I mean, a 10.
the cheat. You're a well-rounded character. Gain the following abilities. Oh, okay. So this is a class. Okay. Roll less than a 10, you may change it to a 10. Once each round, you may either move or hide for free. So then this is the thing. This is it. This is what I was just talking about, except it's for your rogue character, I assume, right? I'm looking at the design. I'm looking at cheat. I'm looking at sneaky boy. That's my idea. This is the thing. You play as a rogue, you will always get 2. Always. So that's good, right? Move or hide for free. Change any skill check from to a 10 plus charisma once per day. Neat. Choose to have advantage on skill checks while playing any games, competitions, or placing wagers. If you're caught, though, that's good, because you're a cheat. Yeah, absolutely.
10, how convenient. You didn't say anything.
The cheat can, well, cheat. When monsters are distracted, like when combat first starts, they can sneakily change their dice to better suit them.
I wouldn't call it when they're distracted because they're in combat, but either way.
I'm just gonna scuttle away. See ya!
Faith, it's your turn.
Where is that little bugger going? Hey, Luna, are you ready to bite some goblins? Go get him.
Oh, a 6. Whenever you roll the max.
Oh, exploding crits. Yeah, exploding crits are neat. No limit to how many times you can do this. Hey, I don't mind having exploding crits in a system. They're just fun. What is it? Is it Deadlands that has exploding crits? I believe. Is that one of the systems that does? Yeah, I like it. I like them. It's neat. I thought it was like, and then you cheat until you said it was a class, right? Yeah.
Maximum number on a die, that's a critical hit. You'll roll the die again, a 6, and again, until you don't roll the maximum, and you'll add them all together to the damage total. That goblin is dead.
Well done, Luna. Come here.
Are we old orcs? Yes. God, yes. Please.
Shepherd is a class that has a special companion that follows them around, attacking foes or healing allies, but it doesn't bog down play. There's no hit points or fiddly stats to track, and it doesn't make their turn take any longer. It instead gives them more tactical options in combat and enables some really cool abilities. But now it's the goblin's turn. They attack.
So they can't stop this thing? Like, it can't be destroyed, I guess? Okay. That's a way to do it. Also, yeah, they auto-hit, so everything auto-hits. That's fine.
Dealing you 17 damage.
Not bad. I almost felt that. I attacked them all.
Crush, as a berserker, chose as one of his savage arsenal abilities.
Yeah, see, this is why I like the pips system. We've all... Everybody knows Pathfinder 2e at this point, right? It's been around for a long time. You get your things that allow you to do special maneuvers, basically, with more than one action. So, yeah, this is standard. I don't know. There's nothing different here.
Whirlwind. He could spend 2 actions and attack every creature with...
Meme inbound? Oh, boy. I love me a meme. Let's find it. Action Man approves of the 3-action system. True. Agreed. We love it. Yes. You know what? I'm even gonna add the other Boo Happy. There we go. We're gonna go with that one. Alright, cool. Didn't jump scare me that time, and then it moved forward. Yeah. Yes, give Martial Clash's cool abilities. Yeah, agreed. Like, this is good. Good to do. In Pathfinder 2 E, we have fucking the feats and stuff that give you the abilities, as well as your class abilities and everything. Like, it all blends together very well. And I assume that Nimble also does the same, right? There's a lot of these Nimble videos that are on this channel, so if you want to learn more about Nimble, I would highly recommend going to the actual channel, Evan at Nimble Co. I guess. I assume that, I don't know if they have their own official channel or if Evan is just the guy. So, but you know, I would recommend if you want to learn more.
Within his weapon's reach.
Action.
21 damage? Yeah. Wow, you kill them all.
I chucked my javelin at the one near Faith.
Since this is his second attack this round, this attack is rushed.
May attack once with these additional attacks are rushed, imposing 1 stack of disadvantage for each attack. Okay, sure. But what does that mean when, I guess we'll find out, but what does that mean when we don't have to roll to hit?
He'll roll it with disadvantage. Rolling 1 additional die and then removing the highest.
Oh, okay. So it's just for damage. So we're doing disadvantage, but on damage rolls. Okay, sure.
Removing the 5. A 1 means that he misses outright and deals no damage. Stabs, you're up.
Hello?
When the cheat attacks a distracted target, they can change their die to whatever they...
What counts as distracted? Here we go. Target is distracted and adjacent to an ally, or if it can't see you. Okay, good. Yes. Yeah, disadvantage on damage, yeah. I don't care about XP, but I do care about keeping all the numbers the same, so I'll just bump this one up there. There you go.
they want. And let's be honest, it'll usually be a critical hit. In the assassin subclass, when they take an
creature dies from a sneak attack, you may turn invisible after they attack. Jeez, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Sure.
enemy down with their sneak attack, they can turn invisible and do it all over again next round. Faith?
I cast
So we're at 3:17. Hold on. This is only like a 7.5-minute video, by the way, but we're at 3:17, so just remember that. There was something that I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Yeah. No. No. Not that. Oh, I'm an idiot. No, I remember exact, like, my brain. Okay. It's this bit. So, I guess overall, right? What is this combat system for again? Like, the video is going over my head. This is for Nimble. It's a 5e counterpart, I guess. So this is something that's bugging me more and more as we keep going. You are heroes, attacks just hit, right? Now, I don't know. It's just part of what I like about the idea of rolling to hit is the chance for failure, right? We've talked about it many a time about failing in games, failing in campaigns, failing in whatever. You fail forward a little bit sometimes, but I like having those consequences be kind of ingrained into the into every kind of encounter. I understand that these kinds of games want you to feel high fantasy, high powered, all that kind of stuff, right? Excuse me. I'm going to burp. Excuse me. Okay. But I feel like heroes fail. You know? Like, heroes can fail, and that's part of why we like them, right? And that's part of what I'm very, very much for the fact of, like, rolling to hit and potentially not being able to connect. Like, you can still fail in this system, I assume, if, you know, you don't finish the fight quick enough with killing everything and all that kind of shit, right? But I don't know, it just takes away that tension that I would feel if I'm rolling like shit here and there, you know? And I don't know, I understand there is that part of, you know, people's minds of like, yeah, I don't like when I fail in my game because I'm failing and it doesn't feel good. But I'm over here like, I don't know, man, even if I completely fuck up, even if I he did say ones are auto miss too, but I agree with you. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay. Then good that there's at least some sort of auto miss, I guess. But why can't we do at least just one damage if everything's a hit, I guess? I don't know. That's very strange to me, considering we're already hitting. But regardless, I think, I don't know. I just, it takes away some of that mystique. It takes away some of that unknown in the storytelling, you know, that you're kind of crafting together, at least to me. And I feel like it takes away a lot more of that tension that's supposed to be there, right? So, because, like, at least for right now, if we go back to 3:17, hold on, is that 3:17? It's a little bit past this. Okay, we're almost there. It's like 5 more seconds. We'll just let it go from here. I don't know. It just, there's something that's missing from this, right? I feel like, I really do. I feel like that this is very much a power trip kind of thing, unfortunately. But, you know, it's fine. When you hit a distracted target, you may change the die to whatever you like. I'm sorry, wait. Does that just mean you can just auto crit? Or what? I don't know. It's fine. Maybe you could unlock auto hit at higher levels. I don't know. I'm fine with it still being there, I guess. It's just, to me, it seems like it's missing something. Like, a battle is a story in itself, right? A combat scenario is all part of the narrative, so how that battle plays out matters to me, I guess, still. And again, if I'm rolling like shit, it's more the fact that I'm like, oh shit, you know, the consequences of this could be my character dies, right? I don't feel like, ah, shit, I'm rolling like shit throughout. No, this is just how it goes, right? I don't know. Sometimes that happens, I guess. You just have a bad day. Now that I think about it, if one is an auto miss and your highest or auto exploding crit, 1d4 is super dangerous. Basically, 25% chance to miss is high. Yep. That's true. So, let's bring it back, because I didn't hear that, and I do want to listen to that.
Die and then removing the highest. Removing the 5. A 1 means that he misses outright and deals.
Rolling a 1 means that attack misses, it deals no damage, has no other effect. Okay. Leftmost is called the primary die. What? For attacks with multiple dice, the die that lands the leftmost is called the primary die. It determines whether the attack is a hit, miss, or crit. Okay. Why would you do it that way? Why not just roll it in order? I guess at that point, right? Yeah, you can roll it all at once, but like, okay, that's fine. I can just see that being a problem. If it's the leftmost one, what if I roll it in such a way that it's like lined up in a row? I guess, do I have to look at it from a certain angle for it to be the leftmost? I don't know. That's nitpicky. I apologize. That's nitpicky. It's just, it seems weird to me. Just roll it in order. I don't know.
Deals no damage. Stabs, you're up.
Hello.
When the cheat attacks a distracted target, they can change their die to whatever they want. And let's be honest, it'll usually be a critical hit. In the assassin subclass, when they take an enemy down with their sneak attack, they can turn invisible and do it all over again next round.
Some of this feels like it's more built for a video game rather than a TTRPG. Yeah, I don't know. It's, I don't know. I roll on a Mobius strip. What's the leftmost die now, DM? Exactly.
Faith?
I cast Rebuke on that nasty little fella.
Whenever an attack uses multiple dice, the first or leftmost die is used as the primary die for determining whether or not the attack hits. This attack hits, dealing 6 radiant damage.
Okay, so when it's multiple die and it's, okay. You just don't, you count ones if it's multiple die. Unless it's the leftmost die, in which case, you know, it doesn't hit. I don't know, man. Sure. It's, I don't know. I take issue with it personally, but that's fine.
He's still standing.
Let's do it again.
It'll be with disadvantage. We'll add 1 die for each stack of disadvantage and remove the highest. 3d6 now. Ooh, he's gonna take 9 damage. That's enough to kill him too.
This seems too easy. Can I assess and see if there's any other dangers?
Yeah, go for it. Give me a skill check. You're right to be worried. Luna's hair stands on end. You see her sniffing the air, the smell of black powder. You look up and a pack of cackling goblins are aiming a cannon directly at you all. They've just lit the fuse.
Look out!
Thanks to you, your party gets advantage on their deck saves now. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to do. You make sure that they're rewarded for having situational awareness. Absolutely. That's good.
Stabs the cheat, easily avoids the explosion. Crush just barely makes it, thanks to the warning that Faith was able to provide. But Faith has...
They removed a die, but why the 6? Was it because it was the leftmost one? It's because it was the highest, because there was disadvantage, I guess, right? Um, y- yeah, yeah. Wait, what if my leftmost one was the lowest die? Well, so if the leftmost one is the lowest die, it would automatically miss, I guess, or it wouldn't be taken away. So, wait. When I'm rolling for disadvantage on doing damage, and it's determining whether or not it hits as well, for a... So I'm basically just rolling to hit with low number die all the time. Anyway, I guess. Right? Sure. Okay. It's just a 1 in whatever chance at that point. 1 in 4, 1 in 6, 1 in 8. You know, all of that. But yeah, it's because it was the highest. So, YouTube ate your last comment. Well, I apologize. YouTube eats comments all the time.
As a shepherd has disadvantage on dex saves. She fails. She's gonna take 2d20 damage.
Okay.
She drops to 0 hit points. She's now dying. She's not unconscious, but she does suffer a wound. And while dying, her maximum actions are reduced to 1, and she's at serious risk of further injury. 3 goblins skitter up next to her and begin stabbing her while she's down. The first, with a big 7 damage. If she takes damage while dying, that's 2 more wounds. 6 wounds, and she's dead. Faith uses her defend reaction to reduce the damage by an amount equal to her armor. She takes no damage, but that was her last action, and there are 2 more gobbles left. The next one rolls and gets a critical hit. Taking a crit while dying will cause 3 wounds. She's now sustained 4 wounds, 1 more hit, and she's a goner. The last goblin raises his jagged edge and strikes for 6.
No! I interpose!
Stabs the rascal. Little kobold cheat leaps in from the shadows, interposing his tiny little body between his friend and the goblin's death blow. Using one of his actions, he pushes...
Ally within 10 feet would be struck with an attack, and you can push them out of the way and become the new target of the attack. Sure. I would say that this would be more effective if I knew where the fucking rat was the whole time. Like, I know it's a kobold. But if I think it was a kobold. I don't know. Maybe it's a rat. I don't fucking know. I've already lost track of characters. Like, yeah, sure. I know it went invisible, but it looked like it went away in a different direction and everything. I don't know. Sure. Whatever. Yeah, it's cool to have that as a thing to do in combat as well. Sure.
his friend out of the way and takes the damage instead. The goblins on the cliff look like they're beginning to reload the cannon.
Crush, can you handle that?
What normally would have been multiple turns of moving and climbing and skill checks to see if he could make it up the cliff safely is now instead one smooth, absolutely destructive act.
I'm gonna leap attack.
Nice. Stabs.
Sure. So, okay. So here's the thing, right? Your example is this. Just to say, it would actually take you a while to get up there, probably, in the thing, right? Which I'm like, yeah, sure, it could. Here's the other thing though. Usually when I make my encounters, I know my player's character's limitations, and so I play around them, right? Does it not like nitpick? Really? Weird. That's strange. All right. Careful, I guess. Anyway. So, I don't know. Like, yeah, you could still have the cannon fight and everything, but you could make it so that, I don't know, like, the range attacks can still reach them and everything, and it probably takes them a couple of, like, rounds to actually reload the cannon, because it's a cannon, so it would give the character the opportunity to get up to it, right, still? It's not like... I don't know, the situation, as you make it, will be however challenging you make it, not necessarily because, you know, the rules themselves have dictated that this is going to be how challenging this is, right? Because you, as the DM, GM, whatever, create the scenario with the rules in mind enough that it'll work however you want to. Or however you think is a fair challenge, or a hard challenge, or whatever, right? But right off the bat, my brain is just like, well, it's not going to shoot, like, next turn, or the turn after that, maybe, but, like, it's not going to be the next turn. If there's 3 of them up there, maybe the second turn, or, sorry, the turn after next. But sure, whatever, right? Couple of rounds, sir. This is a fast-paced game. For shame on your couple of rounds. Right, exactly. My apologies. Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, having the ability...
Safely
Hold on,
is now
we'll
instead
get to it.
one
So, leap up to your speed towards an enemy. If you land adjacent to at least 2 enemies, make it attacks one of them for free. Sure. This is fine to have as an ability as well. This is an ability that I could see in D&D and in Pathfinder. Like, this is just an ability that you could add in to give, right? So this isn't anything that's special, I guess. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, absolutely. Fucking go for it, right?
smooth, absolutely destructive act.
I'm gonna leap attack.
Nice. Stabs dispatches one more of the goblins, but their eyes are still set on taking out Faith. Faith, it's your turn.
Luna, it's your time to shine, baby.
Faith transforms her life-binding spirit into a vengeful spirit, dealing radiant damage to all enemies in the area. Take
Why aren't you showing... Okay, first off, your sound mixing. I don't think I can hear you during this. I'm gonna bring it back because I don't. But, second off, like, you could show me what the stats... Like, what the thing is that's going on, because you didn't tell me, like... You didn't give me the little prompt thing, or the little text box, so I don't know what's going on. She just said to do something, and then it's happening, I guess, which is fine. Is that generic or class-based, I wondered? I assume it's class-based, which you could give to, like, a barbarian. You could give them that fucking leap of whatever the hell, right? You can give it to a fighter, too. Like, it, you know.
taking out the remaining goblins.
Okay, let's just sound mixing. Hold on. Sorry, everybody.
Faith. Faith, it's your turn.
Luna, it's your time to shine, baby.
Faith transforms her life-binding spirit into a vengeful spirit, dealing radiant damage to all enemies in the area, taking out the remaining goblins.
He's speaking too softly for that to, like, that noise is too loud for him speaking softly. I'm sorry. It just is.
The day is won. The heroes victorious.
Wait, where did that other goblin go? He only got one of them. There were 2 up there. Or 3, excuse me. He got 1 goblin when he leapt up there. Did they run away? You didn't narrate that. Come on.
This scenario was run using the Nimble 5e rule set, a new 5e compatible TTRPG that eliminates the slog.
The slog. The slog of 5e. The 5e slog. Wow. Man. That's crazy. I didn't know 5e had slog for this. That's crazy.
All too common at our gaming sessions. It gives players more tactical and interesting options in combat, rewarding teamwork while cutting out the boring waiting for your turn to come around in the fiddly bookkeeping.
You still have to wait for your turn to come around, though. You still do have to wait for it, though. This nibble thing is new? I don't think so. Hang on. Oh, it's so loud. Eh. This was 10 months ago. Oh, it's relatively new. Excuse me. When did this come out? This saved 5e for me. Hold on. That's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail right there. This saved 5e for me. 10 months ago. Okay, yeah, it's 3 months. It's out at this point, I assume. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's out. Hey, man, I mean, like, if this guy made it, hey, good for you, you know? Like, regardless. I think it's out. I'm not sure. Yeah, so you still have to wait for your turns. Is it less boring, I guess? I don't know. That's incredibly subjective, sure. And fiddly bookkeeping. Don't, hey, dude. I actually like when I have to worry about my, you know, my numbers and stuff, but sure. Fiddly. Absolutely. Uh-huh.
It's live on BackerKit right now and absolutely crushing the stretch goals. At the time this video is released, there's about a week or two left on the campaign.
Yeah, it's totally out by this point. This was 10 months ago.
Check out the free rules preview packet and try it out for yourself. Tons of people have already tested it and fallen in love. If you're watching this...
Those are unattributed quotes. That first one is Dave Thomivore, which Dave Thomivore is a channel we've covered a couple of times. Nimble 5e manages to reimagine D&D 5e's rules with legitimately faster and more interesting combat. Very subjective there. While also sideloading a bunch of modern encounter design and gameplay principles that will make any Dungeon Master a whole lot better at running the game, as long as they're using Nimble, though. Because it's not the same if you're just doing 5e, but sure.
In the future, I'll have the links updated so that you can check it out or order it whenever you...
Did my first fight with the Nimble combat mechanics. Fuck! It has never been smoother. Genuinely so much more fun. Sure. My most used and favorite 5e content. Add-on to date. Very well put together. Sure. Nimble is probably the most use I've gotten from a Kickstarter I've supported, ever. Simply goated. Sure. I love it. My players love it too. Nimble continues to be amazing for my party. It's moving much more quickly.
You happen to
there
come
it
across
is.
this video.
This saved 5e for me. These quotes are unattributed. I assume, therefore, people that have playtested the game and everything. Like, here's the thing, okay? I'm not saying don't go get Nimble. If you like what you've seen, hey, go get it, right? It seems interesting in a lot of aspects. It might give you some stuff that you can pilfer and put into your own games. That leap attack is something that you can easily just pilfer and utilize in your own games without ever having to use the entirety of the system. But at the same time, it does seem like there's some interesting ideas in here. You know, you've got your new classes and stuff. Like, you can really revamp a bunch of shit if you want to, right? So fucking do whatever. Don't think that I'm saying don't buy this. I'm just saying this isn't revolutionary. It's nothing new. And I certainly wouldn't call it the best. I don't know. It didn't look like anything that I haven't seen before. It doesn't look like anything that makes me go, oh yeah, I just want to play D&D so much more because of this. I don't know. It just doesn't. Cool, but meh at the same time. Fair. Don't hate it, not inclined to use it either. Yeah, exactly.
Questions? Leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.
The Nimble system, the Nimble system has been a hit with my players, even the sticklers of my group. I've fallen in love. It makes me want to run games in the D&D landscape again. Why can't there be usernames next to the statements? Because none of them wanted to associate with the product, I guess, is the only thing that I can gain. I can't believe this elusive man made all these quotes and left without a trace. That's right. It's an illusionary man. That's crazy.
Here's to better, more memorable game sessions.
Yes, in general, sure, but I'm not going to associate that with Nimble necessarily. What? That's loud. I'm sorry that music was so loud then. Okay, that's all this is at the end here, right? Yeah, okay. Nimble! Like, again, it's fine as an alternative kind of system to 5e, right? That's fine. If you like it, you like it, and that's great. It has some interesting ideas. Again, nothing in there is something that I haven't seen in other systems. Pathfinder 2e is something that I would immediately point to and go, this is fine. We don't again, we don't necessarily need it to be so simple that everything is, you know, go, go, go all the time. I'm sorry, we just don't. Right? Also, that red text scattered randomly bugs me. Yeah, fair. Nice, and I guess. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. Again, nothing against it, just, oh. Sorry, I didn't see that. Your best D&D combat ever. The ultimate D&D 5e combat hack. Warning, it's different. See, that's not even necessarily nimble. Right? That's not even necessarily nimble. That's just in general, I guess. I don't know. But it's probably going to be about nimble because it's the same channel. Anyway. Oof, one of those nimble videos said the best D&D combat ever. Yep. Yep. Well, this was supposed to be your best TTRPG combat ever. That's what this is supposed to be. Don't forget. See? It's nothing more memorable, at least to me, inherently, than anything we've ever done. So, sounds like clickbait? Well, that's because it is. And it's not like it's... I don't feel like it's something that's rage-worthy in terms of clickbait, because this is... I don't know, I guess somebody could find this to be the best thing ever, because they like the simplicity of it and everything. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And this is, again, this is not an egregious instance of clickbait where they're just not talking about anything to do with what they've clickbaited. So I think this is fine. This is a okay clickbait. Oh, nice ad, I guess. Thanks, autocorrect. I get you. Anyway, let's move on to the second video of the night. The problem with talking about D&D by Matthew Coville. By the way, I haven't had any caffeine today, and man oh man, I'm feeling it. It actually reminds me of those places that are like the #1 rated pizza in New York, and it's like fine pizza, but #1? Yeah, exactly. Yep, for sure. All right, so Matthew Coville. Everybody knows who Matthew Coville is, right? He's the guy who's had a couple of times where we've gone, But most of the time we go, yeah, okay, Matthew. Yeah, you're fine. Matt, good stuff. And I call him Matt because obviously we're friends. But he put out a video called The Problem with Talking About D&D. This was a video that was put in our suggestions quite a while back. And I think that it's going to be interesting to talk about how we talk about D&D, eh? I'd like to see what his specific issues are with talking about D&D, and we'll see if there's any that might overlap. Because, at least for me, I don't see there's many issues talking about D&D, or any TTRPG for that matter. I've never found them to be hard to talk about, and I've never really found anything in them to be something that I have avoided talking about, right? Like, there's nothing that really, like, the only thing I guess is just, well, he has campaign for North Africa? Oh, God! That's crazy! Sorry, tangent. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's maybe additions, right? If I was the one to suggest this, I do not remember this at all. It might have been you, Draco Kraken. I don't actually know. Yeah, so... Excuse me. Let me get some water. Into me. There we go. Power's back, but we're now waiting on the router now. Fair enough. You should honestly, I would highly recommend buying a battery backup for your router and your modem. I do. I did, and it's probably one of the best purchases I've ever done, and it's lasted me since we started the show. Maybe a year after we started the show, actually, right? Because my internet doesn't go down when the power goes out, so I can at least do stuff for a while. It's not like forever, but it is for, short power outages. Primo, dude. It's a chonky title. Yes. Very chonky. Fuck, I was, damn. Longest board game ever, yes. But anyway, yeah, the only time where I can see there being a problem, this is only 10 minutes? This is a 10-minute video? I didn't even see that. Sorry, you can't see that. It's 10 minutes, less than. That's insane. Are you kidding me? Oh, I should do that now. I should just show you guys how long things are now. I just remembered that, like, a scroll wheel has more functions than me scrolling on other things. Anyway, we're in season 6, everybody, and I finally figured out how to scroll. Anyway, 10-minute Coville is rare, indeed. So, yeah, the only time where there's a problem is talking about additions, I guess, and like which one is which and which you would want to play and everything. But as somebody who has never had a problem with any addition so far, I don't have that problem either. So I don't know what the problem would be, I guess. Maybe this is talking about stuff like Twitter, right? If it's talking about stuff like Twitter, oh god. I don't even engage with Twitter anymore, so I have no idea. I barely engage with the Blue Sky thing either. I don't engage with social media besides YouTube, right? It's just not something that I want to do. I don't care a lot of the time. YouTube has so many videos on it that I could just spend my time watching. I have too many games, and my life is hectic, right? So like, I'm sorry, I can't care about grandma down the road who's not even my grandma who's saying, "Oh, I saw a dog today." That's just how it is, unfortunately. Anyway, tangents aside, let us begin.
The 70s, when the world was new, Gary Gygax felt like he would know if the game was developing properly if each table ended up with its own unique set of house rules. That was healthy, he thought. Later on, when other companies were trying to make money selling supplements to his game, he got real frisky about using the official rules, but that was later. He didn't see what the DM does as being wildly different from what he did when he wrote the rules. I said the same thing. When you decide to get behind the screen, you're going to end up developing your own ideas about game design, and also, I think, story structure, drama, theme, pacing, characterization. DMs and writers have a lot in common, just like DMs and game designers. So
yeah, it's very true. I mean, all of that is true. Dude, I saw a dog today too. Yo, I saw a dog yesterday. It was my neighbor's dog. I didn't know they were my neighbor's dog. They were just a dog that was in the yard at some point, and I was like, oh, whoa. And then it came over and barked at me when I was in my own yard doing stuff. And yet grandma down the road is just as likely to go viral as any other content. True. If grandma comes down and starts doing Facebook whatever reels or whatever the fuck, I don't know what it is now. It's whatever TikTok has made into every single site. If or Vine, maybe we can blame it on Vine from the beginning. I don't know. But if grandma comes out and just says, "Saw a dog today," that first day, the next day says, "Saw a plane today," and just kind of goes on and does that for the rest of her life, she could make $1 million. She really could. Somebody is going to find that, and somebody's going to blow that channel up, right? Go be that grandma today, everybody. I challenge you. Go be that grandma. I've been thinking about getting Blue Sky. It's fine. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to do social media, and I don't really engage with it, and it's bad for the brand of the show. but I can't be asked. It's like a job, and I don't want to do it, you know? I don't know, that account sounds like a nice change of pace. Yes, that is true. It would be nice to just go on there and see a grandma just saying, saw some mice today. Next day. Had a pizza today. You know. All that kind of stuff. That'd be nice. Anyway.
I don't know how that sounds to you. Each table having its own unique interpretation of the rules that they develop through a combination of trial and error, discussion, and consensus.
Yeah.
It's not I like these rules, but we like these rules. They're ours. But I sort of think that is inevitable. Every table is unique, and how the game is played from one table to another can vary wildly. And I wonder if people realize that. When I see folks arguing about class features and game balance online, it seems like they think everyone arguing is playing the same game. But I don't think they are.
Well, so to a degree, I suppose, and I get where you're going with this. Like, yeah, we're all using the same base set of rules, right? But I guess going about it in the interpretation of what each part of the base set of rules needs to entail, or not entail, but well, kind of entail. I guess that's a word that can be used. I accidentally turned on my PS3 next to me. Whoops. I'm trying to turn it back off. There it goes. Okay. Now trial and error, discussion and discourse, exactly. But yeah, so I think that it's good to have the understanding that we've all played the exact same, like, base game. It's just that we've come up with these things that are individually going to be better for our specific tables, right? Like, it's not that everybody is unaware that everybody has had different experiences, right? And it's not like because everybody is like, oh, well, this is how we played this, they don't understand that we've all started from the general base, right? The same base. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like... It's not necessarily something that I would point to, I guess, and say, not everybody seems to understand that we're not playing the same game. Because at some point we aren't, I guess, but we've all utilized the same rules. So, I don't know. They're pretty easy to understand at this point, so I don't know.
There's this perception among very online dungeon masters that
we're talking about Twitter.
The rules represent this objective reality, and there is no room for interpretation, and house rules are somehow degenerate.
What? Okay, we're not talking about... Who are we talking about? I'm sorry, what? Who? Sorry, listen to this again, and tell me who the fuck this is supposed to be. Because I have no fucking clue now.
Game balance online, it seems like they think everyone arguing is playing the same game. But I don't think they are. There's this perception among very online dungeon masters that the rules represent this objective reality, and there is no room for interpretation, and house rules are somehow degenerate.
Who are these people that are very online that are saying this? Hell, I don't even think anybody on Twitter is that. Sounds like Garibay. No, true, actually. Oh, shit, that is true. Fuck. No, you found it. You found the person. But yeah, no, I feel like at this point, at least from what I understand, and again, I guess I'm not as online as I used to be, because I don't check Twitter anymore. And even when I was on Twitter, I didn't check it for D&D shit or any TTRPG shit. I just checked it for all the stuff from the people that I follow, which is no one who's a D&D or TTRPG influencer, I guess, except for Brogan. But even then, I didn't really pay attention to a lot of the stuff that he was saying about stuff. I'll be honest. I will be completely honest. I'm horrible at paying attention to my friends' posts. I am very bad at it. But I feel like these terminally online people, quote unquote, are laughed out of the room by the general community. I don't know. It doesn't seem like something that is given much of a much like credence, I guess. Though again, that might be my I might be completely off in that. I have no idea.
These are the same folks who get really into stuff like damage per round and optimized builds that go all the way to 20th level. These folks see D&D as something that can be solved, or even
Okay, so but there's nothing wrong with optimizers and stuff, right? Like we can all agree that that's just a valid way to play. Like all of that is just valid. Okay, I wouldn't associate that mindset with optimizers. I wouldn't. Like that. What? Okay.
even something that is intended to be solved. Like that's the purpose of it, like a puzzle or a video game that you can speed run through. And I think this attitude alienates a lot of DMs who feel like, does this actually make sense? Can you speed run D&D? Can you reduce an entire class down to probability and numbers?
Yes. Yes, you can. Because if you play it that way, you absolutely can. What are you talking about? Yes. The numbers and percentages and everything give you the ability to make it into a game about numbers and probabilities and stuff. Yeah, sure, there's characters and shit. There's character work and everything, but people can play it in a way that they don't need to engage with that amount or that part of the game. Right? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not how I would like to play it personally, but there's nothing wrong with that. The numbers, Mason, what do they mean?
Well, I'm a game designer, and I know you absolutely can compare one class to another and see how they each dip into the action economy, how or if they get bonus actions, reactions. Do they have resources to manage? How does a class with a resource that can run out sit in a group with another class that can just do its thing every round and never runs out of anything? But that's just normal game design. The problem I see in these online discussions, and why I think they are mostly smoke and mirrors, is the game is played differently at every table in a way that is not true of like Rocket League or a board game.
Sure, yeah, that's still the same case. But the people that they're talking to, I guess, like, the optimizers can talk to other optimizers to optimize better, you know? Like, they can have these discussions in order to make sure that they are playing the game the most optimally, I guess. And with the wider context, again, I don't even, like, I don't think that optimizers have the viewpoint that the game is so rigid that we can't interpret it at all in any other way. That seems incredibly silly to me to, like, associate with this subset of people that are playing the game. Because they are doing it in such a way that makes them have the brain chemical go good, burr, you know? Ooh, I'm having a good time, right? I don't know, it just seems like we're conflating something, or at least assigning it to people that it shouldn't be assigned to. Like, sure, absolutely, there can be people that do both and are, like, super strict and all that kind of stuff, but that seems like such a very... This is a subset of a subset that seems so arbitrary that I don't feel like it's useful to the conversation. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but it just doesn't seem useful.
And these differences create huge variation in everything. How many players you got? Huge variation. Some tables, it's a DM and 2 players, or even only 1 player. Mm-hmm. Some tables have 6 or 7. This creates massive differences in things like encounter design, rewards, adventure design. Mm-hmm. Your perception of how long combat takes is hugely affected by the number of people at the table. You can have 2 people arguing about how long combat takes, and they think they're arguing about the rules of D&D. Because they see those rules as principally responsible for this, when in fact, the main factor that is causing them to argue is one DM has a couple of players, thinks combat is fun, the other has a whole bunch of players, thinks combat takes forever.
And, like, this is good to have as something that's, like, like that's a good thing to say for something like these videos that are like, oh, combat is a slug and all that kind of stuff, right? Like they are talking about combat in such a way that seems to be, and like we've given our bias openly because our group is 4 people. That's 1 person running and 3 people playing, right? And there's times where we have a 4th a character in the mix that is run by the person running the game. Oh, excuse me. Goodness. Excuse me. But yeah, like,
And I don't think it's
what?
linear. I think adding one more person.
I didn't mean to do that. He's talking about variables and stuff that do change how the game is perceived, how the combat is done and everything. But I don't know. I feel like everybody kind of does understand that, and again, I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong about this. But I think most people understand that the things like the challenge rating in D&D and everything is based off of 4 characters. And because of that, when we usually talk about these kinds of things, we're basing it off of that ideal party of 4, usually. When we try to come up with examples, at least when, as far as I can remember, there could be times where we've done differently here and there, absolutely. But for as far as I can remember, I'm usually thinking about a party of 4 when I'm thinking about D&D stuff, because that's the quote-unquote ideal amount that has been usually balanced around. And, you know, every time that we talk about any kind of part in what we do for our games, we're happy to say we only have the 4 of us that play together. So, like, you know, you can take anything that we say with a grain of salt, absolutely, because that just makes sense. Our experience is going to be completely different from other people's. Because, again, everybody's different people, too. Not everybody's going to think exactly the same way in every scenario. So I don't... So while I think he formatted it weirdly, sounds like in general he's running a meta commentary on TTRPG content creators. Maybe. But I don't know, because he started off with, like, people who are incredibly online. You know? Which is, like, I don't consider a lot of the people that we've covered to be, like, this whole terminally online, you know, go touch grass thing, all that kind of stuff, that usually only comes into play for, like, some specific, like, instances, as, like, a refresh and all that kind of stuff, right? But I don't consider them to, at least for the TTRPG content creators, none of them are unhinged to the point that they need to get offline. Except for our Lord, obviously. But he's an exception. He needs to stay online. But yeah, I just, I don't know. I wouldn't associate this with anybody. Like, even the Dungeon Dudes and, Deep Dive or something, D4 Deep Dive. I don't remember what his actual channel's called. Like, but I know it's a D4 and it's like an optimizing channel and all of that. I wouldn't say that they're super online because of, you know, optimizing and that being their frame of reference. I don't know. I think we can all kind of understand once we start thinking about it, start talking about what we're doing, start talking about the table and everything. We can all understand where everybody's coming from and what everybody's experience is at that point, right? Whether or not they're going to talk about it, that's a completely different conversation, obviously. But I don't know. I feel like we should make the effort, I guess, more so. Which is why, I mean, this is why we do the way that we do this here. We're going through everything with the context that we have, the entire context, you know? So that we can respond to it in kind. I don't know how many had the blanket take of 4E bad with nothing more than it's different as their evidence. That kind of tribalism was kind of terminal online behavior. Yeah, no, I get that. You're right about that. I understand. Um, so like, I, yeah, I guess my criticism overall is the community and online discourse as a whole. And that's always been kind of my criticism, I guess, because we allow this kind of tribalism to just continue to fester unhindered and uncritically, I guess. Um not that we do necessarily, but like it's just something that is, and I've fallen victim to it. I feel like every single person in general has fallen victim to it. I'm no better than anybody else, obviously. I'm just saying that I'm trying to recognize when it happens. And I'm trying to like really talk about these kinds of things when they happen rather than say right off the bat and try to know everything about what the other side is talking about, I guess. And this whole 4E blanket statement thing immediately makes me like, it made me immediately go, well, I don't know about that, but okay. And then when I started watching videos on 4E, I went, why is this so bad? You know? So I don't know. And in the beginning, even I was just like, people just said 4E was bad and we didn't play it. And I was like, well, okay, I guess it's bad. I don't know. Because I didn't have anything to reference at that point either. So, I don't know. No to go touch grass. Yes to go into the tall grass. I mean, this sounds like advice for people that just mindlessly attack and gatekeep. I guess so. But I don't know. He seems like he's already placed the blame on people that I wouldn't associate the blame with, you know? Necessarily. But I guess we'll see.
The other has a whole bunch of players. Things combat takes forever. And I don't think it's linear. I think adding one more person to the group means everything takes much longer. Because it's not just another 2 minutes for the new player to take their turn. It's all of the discussion and debate about what to do, which for a lot of players is the fun of the game.
Yeah.
Problem solving together. Have you ever had to tweak an encounter because the design assumed there were more or fewer players than you have?
Yes.
If there's exactly 4 players, then this adventure is sort of balanced. But if you only have 1 or 2 or 6 or 7, you need to monkey with the number of monsters in there, and it's not immediately obvious how to do that. You think adding 3 goblins to this encounter will balance it out for your party, but it turns out now the battle is a lethal challenge for your players because those 3 goblins made all the goblins more effective.
Right, but we've also, it's not just the fact that we're, like, the tools are there for us to use to balance everything and all that, and we've talked about this many a time, but the CR system is the only tool that really tells you this is how you're supposed to balance things in D&D, and everybody knows that it's broken, and it's never been fixed, right? And we've all needed to fix it here and there, or try to figure it out here and there, and that is annoying. That is a problem. That is something that we can't necessarily do easily. And I guess it's just that thing of like, I don't know. I feel like that's something that can come up with these kinds of things and then say, oh, well, we've all experienced this, right? This is a basic fundamental thing that we can all kind of go, hey, yeah, let's fix it. It needs to be fixed. Will it ever get fixed? No. Absolutely not. No fucking way. Absolutely not. But I don't know. It's a point in the discussion that we can bring up that we can like connect on, I guess. If we haven't already established our background, I guess, in this discussion so far between the people with 2 players and the people with 7 players, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's something that will come up pretty quickly, so we can all understand that things are going to be different. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like I guess I haven't been talking to the right people. I don't know. Maybe I'm not talking to enough people who are constantly complaining and not talking about their group in such a way that I can understand or not understand how many players they have, the specific like problems that they've come across and all that kind of stuff. Because from what I can gather, at least from most of these videos or most of the Twitter posts back in the day or any of that kind of stuff, people go into depth about this kind of stuff, right? Because they really do want to tell you everything that went wrong, I guess, a lot of the time. And usually they tell you how many players they've had, they tell you how the combat was too slow because it took so long, because we had this, and this happen, you know, all that kind of stuff. They give you all their reasoning and everything. And it makes it so that you can understand what's going on. It's not usually the 4E bad blanket argument when it comes to this kind of stuff, right? Nobody, at least so far in this current culture of the hobby, at least to me, has been in such a way that I've gone like, oh, you are just kind of telling me well, actually, now that I've said that out loud, that's not true. There are plenty of videos that we've gone in to say, I wish you would tell me how many people you have playing and all of that kind of stuff. So that is, you know what? I retract. That is something that has happened. But at least from the majority of other online discourse, I at least get the idea that they have a group that is, you know, size appropriate, or usually somewhere around 4, whether it be more or less, I don't know. So, or usually more than that, like 4 to 6 is usually the bracket that I see. You rarely see less, and people are talking about it, you know? At least from my experience and what I can recall. So, I don't know. Maybe if we're talking about content creators as a whole, there are certainly some times where, yeah, it can definitely be, we need that context that is never given. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what we're doing in this video. Like who are we talking about? Because again, the premise seems a little weird. And now we're going into this part, which is like, are we talking about people just in general? Because it's like, okay, yeah, miscommunication happens, I guess. I don't know.
You can't really take an adventure designed for 1 player and drop it into a function generator, turn the dial to 4 players, and hope to get an optimized adventure for your group. There are too many variables. That's what I mean when I say encounter design does not stop just because you rolled initiative. You're going to keep tweaking hit points and maybe even AC while the combat is going because of the difference.
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't. If something goes too fast, it goes too fast. If it's too hard, it's too hard. I'm not going to necessarily fudge things because I wanted it to go a certain way and it didn't necessarily turn out that way. That's a learning experience. I don't know. If you do it on the fly, I don't don't want to know, right? Don't ever tell me that you've changed anything like that. Because then it will either feel like it's been cheapened or something, right? But like, I don't know.
Between the intended design and what's actually happening at the table. Whoever wrote this adventure didn't know how many players I have or their style of play. You know your player's style. Wizards of the Coast doesn't. Neither does MCDM. We can't design a single adventure that is optimal for every style of play.
True.
It's impossible. I've experienced this directly, and if you've watched only a few online games, you have too. One table is full of tabletop gaming nerds who play Robo Rally and Dune together. Another is full of folks who hang out and watch movies together, who play social games. Even if both groups have the same number of players, these differences in style mean an adventure that works really well for this table needs a lot of work to make it fun for that table. I have played with folks where just adding this one specific player to your table, because they're an experienced wargamer, suddenly mean all the bad guys need to be a lot tougher. Doesn't matter what class he's playing. How on earth would the rules account for that? Oh, if you have a really good tactical player, add this monster to your encounter and it will all balance out.
Okay, yeah. But again, so you just take your basic rules, you make sure they function for 4 characters in generic scenarios, and then, I guess, I don't know. Like, what? If we're talking about game design, like, yeah, you can't account for every fucking thing because this game is such a, like, it's full of imagination. And everybody's just doing things based off their imagination. And guess what? Imagination is not something that can be quantified necessarily. So, yeah, absolutely, you're right. What is it? So when people discuss things, if they're disagreeing super hard, and unable to understand that they're playing things differently with different variations and different imaginations, that is that's the problem, because people don't understand that. Is that what we're going for? I guess it's not just the optimizers with their rigidness. It's not just the, like, I guess that's obvious. As I'm sorry, I the only reason why I'm questioning it is because it's so obvious that is something that could be a miscommunication. So I'm confused as to I'm trying to find the deeper point than that, I guess. When did this video come out?
Back in the 70s when the
3 years ago? Okay. What? Okay. You okay, bud? I don't know. I'm just trying to. I'm like, this video is so simple. I don't know. Am I missing something? Are we just saying that people miscommunicate when they don't understand each other? Like each other's situations? Is that literally what we're talking about? Is that just it? Because that's all that this is, as far as I'm aware. And I guess I'm floored by the fact that it could be such a, like, I guess that's why it's only almost 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, because it's such a simple thing that applies to literally everything, that I don't understand who we're supposed to be talking to, I guess. Maybe I needed caffeine, I guess. I don't know. Am I losing it? I don't know.
You know, a table with a lot of tactical players will grind through an orc encounter very differently than a bunch of social gamers. And the reverse is true. One group might think that infiltrating the Baron's gala in disguise and discreetly whispering into the guests' ears, trying to plant suspicion of who murdered his wife.
You recommended this in 2022? That's back when this came out. Oh my god. That's 3 years ago. Holy shit. I'm Are we like, who are we are we talking to children again? Who are we talking to? I don't know. We're not talking to the content creators, are we? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with anybody making their content and saying, "Oh, D&D is a slog," like, necessarily, right? I don't see that there's a problem there. It's just the way that they frame it and the way they present their argumentation, right? That's what I take issue with. You could tell me, like, and that's why, and the reason why I'm usually like, oh, you're saying that D&D is a slog in this video and that's in your title, is because most of the time their argumentation is very, like, basic, I guess, and we've seen it many a time. Oh, I don't like math. Oh, it takes forever because somebody's trying to decide what they need to do. And it's like, I don't know. It's not that big a deal to me, but sure, I guess go off, right? And for this, it's like, well, if you're optimizing, you don't understand how people do things narratively. If you're playing with more people at your table, you won't understand necessarily how things are the same or different, because people have less players at the table. And all of those kinds of situations. It's like, oh yeah, if I eat an apple and I only eat apples, I won't know what an orange tastes like, and so if I argue that apples themselves, fruit in general, isn't so great because it's so bland, yeah, I guess, I don't know, I've never tried an orange. Not exactly a great comparison, but you get what I mean, I hope.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
But that's not even the same, because, like, fundamentally, I don't know, I guess, yeah, no, it's not a good example, because fundamentally, the system that we're playing with has very basic rules. And the basic rules have, like, have this very basic framework that we can all go off of, and then we have to adjust. When people are talking about, especially for this optimization kind of argument, the challenge rating system is one of the best things that we can all criticize quite easily, because we can all understand when we tweak things with it to then say, oh, it's not designed to take into account magic items. It's not designed to necessarily take into account party composition with classes that are different than the standard classes, right? Like, it's not great with I guess environments being taken into account necessarily, though environment shouldn't necessarily do too big to that, right? Like, that's usually what these people are making the videos on. So they're usually these fundamental kind of things, right? The speed of a combat is also something pretty fundamental in a lot of instances, because usually if you really want to make a good combat takes a long time video, you can point to the steps and go into the complicated process that goes into choosing which spell to do, how effective it will be, you know, having to roll all the stuff and actually add it together. Like, yes, I will still roll my eyes, but it is something that you can point to that we all have to do, right? All of these very objective qualities of the system are going to be there no matter what. So you can really, like, and then when you say, well, we ignore this because when we found that for us, ignoring this part of the game is better for us. We find it to run faster. It's like, oh, okay, well, they made that video, and that will work for them and some other people. And there's still the value there. It's still good to have. But then when they get into an argument with somebody who says, well, I actually always use this rule because for us, it really makes or breaks the game. And then it's like, well, okay. So now when they're talking and they're yelling at each other, I guess, I don't know, when they're arguing about it, then if they haven't both, like, really gone into how their tables are different, then yeah, we'll have a harder time understanding why they've done these different things. But again, I don't see that. I don't understand what there has to be more to this than that, because that's so simple that I'm like, what are we doing here? Why are you just telling me something that I've seen in every single space of everything? I read a book. I really like this character because of this reason. Other person hates this character because of this reason, and then we start yelling about it, and then I start talking about how they relate to something in my life that I'm like, okay, well, I really enjoyed them because they really did this, and then the other person goes, oh, well, I really hate them because somebody in my life did this, and I really associate that with them. And then it's like, oh, okay, now we understand. Now we can come to, like, this, you know, better understanding of it and go, yeah, okay, this is why. So I guess, welcome to humans. Welcome to how things work when you talk about anything. You want to give context where it's necessary so that you can have a conversation that doesn't devolve into shouting, I guess, and being angry for no reason. I don't know. Am I going insane? Am I misinterpreting anything here? Am I just... I really don't know. I don't know why it's throwing me off so much. I really don't. But it is. Because I feel like it's such a weird video to get from Coville, I guess. As well. This is 10 minutes. I've lost the reasoning behind this recommendation in those 3 years. I'm older, probably stupider, but I'm not gonna think about that. Well, you know, I'm an idiot now, so it's all good. Orange and apple, yeah. Coville's face is in the center of the screen, and his hair and beard are drawing my vision right to the bridge of his nose. Fair. Black hole on the bridge of Coville's nose. Light cannot escape. True. There you go. I'm on the same track as you, Alejo. Well, I'm glad you can follow what I'm saying, but, like, am I following the video correctly? Or is this literally just made for people who have never had a conversation before, I guess? Is this made for children? Because as a kid, I had no idea how this shit worked. Fucking, like, 10-year-old me? Cringe. Fucking 15-year-old me? Cringe. Fucking 20-year-old me? Cringe. 25-year-old me? Cringe. Absolutely. Now? Cringe. But I at least understand. Right? And I try very hard to, like, understand the positions and stuff. There are some times where I don't, for sure, but I don't know.
Another group might look at that encounter and just throw up their hands. Hope the DM lets them just make a persuasion check and move on, or whatever. Huge variation in the number of players and style from one table to another, and not only is no adventure equally suited for every table, I don't even think every class is balanced the same for every possible combination of players and style.
Okay.
There are some tables out there that think this class is hugely overpowered, and others who think it's sort of weak sauce, even though they're both using the same design. Different tables have wildly different reactions to the same design, and no one talks about this. Some people do, but mostly everyone online just assumes that they all basically have the same table playing in the same style. And
I doubt that. I really doubt that. I don't know. That's a wild claim that I don't know. Maybe 3 years ago, I really don't know about this.
The only thing to argue about, therefore, is the rules. But I think the differences in tables and style of play is the most important thing to talk about, way more important than the actual rules. Tabletop RPGs are not like other games, but there are a lot of folks online who only seem to have fun if they can assume that they are like other games.
What are we doing? Like, what? Okay. Yeah, some of these people exist, I'm sure. Okay. I hate when people don't provide examples. Like, I'm sure in this scenario, if he did provide examples, he would put attention on a bunch of random people, but it's still pretty lame. Well, so, I don't know, man. Like, I guess it's just... I get it to a degree if you don't want to put somebody in that position to a degree, but, like, I don't know. You gotta point to some of this shit, right? You may be overgeneralizing other people's thoughts. I don't know. Again, this is the thing that always comes up, I guess, at certain points. It's like, oh, we don't run in the same circles, like, at all. Even back when I used Twitter, I didn't run in the same circle as Coville did on Twitter, I guess. Hell, on Blue Sky, we follow Coville on Blue Sky because he's there. We don't follow the same circles there either. Like, I can't wrap my head around this generalization because I guess either I'm not in this, I haven't had these experiences because I'm not in the same group, or I just haven't seen these so much because I don't think that they are necessarily the representative of the community as a whole, right? At least, and again, that's totally fair if that's just me and it is the way that these things are. I just need these examples. If you don't provide examples, how am I supposed to really engage with it? Because you're just saying, oh, there's a lot of this going around. Oh, there's a lot of this going around. And I have nothing to really latch onto besides your word. And, like, sure, I respect Coville, sure. But at the same time, this seems so wildly, like, against what I've seen, at least in videos, a lot of the time, that I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't see this being that big of an issue in the conversation. I'm not like other games. Yeah.
And they can just take all their arguments about which boss is overpowered in Elden Ring and just import them to D&D.
Oh, Elden Ring reference. Holy shit.
Can't be done. This is one of those videos where
Wait, what? Yeah, of course not. Who's comparing D&D things to Elden Ring? Unless, like, I mean, D&D can be used to simulate Elden Ring if you want, in the sense of, like, it has a Dark Souls fucking variant. So, like, I assume you could kind of carry it over a little bit if you want to. I don't know. But also, like, whatever. I guess, yes, there are some people who look at D&D like it's a video game. Sure. Okay. Next.
I'm just expressing how I see things, and I don't really have a solution. But I wonder if you couldn't come up with something like an alignment chart for groups.
What?
On one axis, how big is my group? I don't know what the categories would be, but maybe 1 to 2 players, 3 or 4 players, 5 or more. Maybe not, because I think having only one player is a unique challenge. Then you would have another axis, which is how tactically oriented is my group. On one side,
Okay.
we're basically wargamers.
Let's not make a alignment chart. Let's just make a fucking graph, please. An X, Y, what is it? No, X, yeah. It's the fucking cross graph. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called. My brain is failing me. But you know what I'm talking about, where it has the 4 different sections, I guess, right? You can go from 0 to fucking, I don't know, 20 for players, and then tactical to narrative, I guess, and then you can plot all your points if you want to. I don't know.
Which does not preclude also liking the social.
And then you can call it, like, so, okay. So you have little to many people, you have tactical to narrative, you have small group that's tactical wargaming, you have large group that's tactical, I don't know. Oh, I don't even know what you, like, it's still wargaming at that point. What does it matter? Right? Yeah, that doesn't matter at all. So then it would just be the curve, right? You would just have one section of numbers of people, and then how tactical are they on the... So it's an X and Y graph. That's it, right? Number of players, tactical ability, right? So you have it going at a curve, less, more, and all that kind of stuff. It would just be data points. It's not necessarily a categorization, necessarily. We don't need to do this. It's my point. I don't know.
Roleplay stuff. And on the other side, we're basically drama geeks, which does not preclude also liking the tactical stuff. I'm reminded of this chart on the back of all the classic Avalon Hill bookcase games, where they showed you how complex the game was and also how suitable it was for solitaire play. This was back when, if you were a board gaming nerd, you were very likely the only board gaming nerd you knew IRL, and IRL was the only way to know people. So suitability for solo play was a major selling point. You know, it used to be back in the Usenet days where folks had signatures to their messages, that folks who played a given game would have a code in their signature. I remember for the Legend of the Five Rings card game, it was just this string of numbers, but it represented how well you knew the rules, how often you played. Did you play 1v1 or multiplayer?
That's cool. Sure. It'd be good. What a pause. It'd be good to I don't know. This is just something that we could just start normalizing, I guess, instead of necessarily making a very strict alignment chart, right? You could just start talking about if you really think that this is a thing that needs to, like, and I agree that we need to have better communication about our situation before necessarily going into the trenches, right? So you just start off by telling people your experience. You start by telling people the amount of people in your group. You start telling people, all the relevant information, and then when more relevant information is necessary, the other person asks about it. We can just have conversations, everybody. We try to have them all the time. That's just a thing that we can just do, and we can just be more cognizant of the fact that everybody has, different circumstances, and if they're relevant, then we talk about it, right? Like, we don't need a chart. I prefer logistical wargaming. That's a joke, but it's probably a thing. Maybe. Garabay's ruined the phrase IRL for me. Yes. This needed the meme. A meme? Oh boy. When the podcast watches the video, you no longer remember why you recommended it. It's very good. I like that a lot. Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting to like really dive into if we had more, I guess, but this seems so simple to me that it's just like, why did this need a video? Why did you need to make a 10-minute video talking about the fact that people are different? Like, it really, like, to be extremely reductive. Why did you need to tell me that people are different for 10 minutes? And that sometimes that leads to people yelling at each other, I guess. Right?
What clan did you play? Did you play in tournaments? Had you ever won a tournament? And you'd end up in an argument with somebody about something, and
I really hope, by the way, if anybody in the future watches this and can really parse this better than me, because I feel like I'm failing here somehow, because I'm not, like, I feel like I've gotten it, but I don't feel like I've gotten it in the right way. I don't know. If anybody can parse this out for me and tell me that, like, if I'm completely off or I'm being too reductive or something, because I just don't understand. I don't get it. Have I already reached the end and I'm here wondering where's the DLC? I don't know. Like, like I'm getting like paranoid about this. Like, have I been ruined somehow? I don't get it.
And then you would check their SIG and you would see, oh, this person only plays 1v1. They have never experienced any of the problems my group are having with this stupid game because there's 8 of us. It was very useful when it came to understanding where the person on the other side of the screen was coming from. Imagine an ecology where there are...
This is why we talk about our experiences ourselves and say, well, this is how it goes for me. It might not be the same for you. This is why we do this in our streams here, in the show. We usually say, oh, well, in my experience, I've never had this happen. I don't see it, but that's just me, right? Like, it's simple.
There are lots of different adventures out there, and they are, I don't know, color-coded, so that you know a light blue colored adventure is for small groups of socially oriented players. A deep red adventure is for big groups of tactically minded players. And then you get a whole rainbow of adventures supporting different flavors of table. Or like these charts on the back of the Avalon Hill games. One bar is group size, another one is social versus tactical. Maybe we would get more and better adventures this way, since designers could start from, oh, I want to make an adventure for a small group of socially minded players, because we would have language for this stuff. And you'd have a much more robust discussion online because we would have tools to help communicate about how we are playing the game.
Okay.
Anyway, just something on my mind I thought I would share with you. It might make a difference in how we talk about the game. Probably not, but it's still worth a video.
Hey, I think it would be cool as well if we had things that said what they were intended for, I guess. But we could also like tweak them if we wanted to in something like this, right? Like that's cool. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's go. That seems neat. What was this video? I like the other idea. I like this very final thing. Let's talk about this more in depth, right? I like this. So you get, you get the intention. Hell, the from adventures that I've seen usually tell like the amount of players at least. So all they need to do is just put in what type of adventure it is, right? Socially oriented fucking intrigue adventure, like more combat heavy focused. Isn't that already in a lot of scenarios? Can't we like find that out pretty easily? Or am I going insane? To be fair, it probably isn't for D&D at least as much. But like at least when things are described a lot of the time, they are given those kinds of adjectives so that we can understand what the adventure itself is supposed to kind of entail, as far as I'm aware. And that could be me misremembering a bunch of different things. I could be thinking about various things that I've seen that have been described in certain ways, I guess, instead of necessarily be stated. But yeah, if we could just have it in the beginning, I guess, or on the back of the book to say, socially driven intrigue campaign meant for 2 to 4 players, or we go with a very tactics-based, combat-heavy game for 4 to 6 players. We just start putting that kind of stuff there. I don't see that being a problem at all. I see that, in fact, being very interesting. Because then it's like, well, you have now given me this adventure as an idea, and I can then say, well, actually, what if we take inspiration from that and kind of peel away some of the layers, and instead of this being very tactics-based heavy combat, we can maybe kind of drive it to be a more social kind of intrigue campaign if we want to, by using the concepts that are there and kind of coming up with our own story based off of that, right? Have the inspiration that we can just steal from bits and pieces. And then you can do the same exact thing the other way, right? And in many different ways. That's just how these ideas would then be further propagated, I guess. They could just start as something basic and then go into whatever the fuck you want to run. That seems great. The tools for conversation just need to be, well, we played it this way with this amount of people and it went like this. For general things in like right now, like if they don't have a classification of their own, we can kind of come up with the words to describe what they are, So I don't know. I get what he said, but not sure if the people who need this advice will listen. I don't even know if the people who need this advice will, like, exist. I don't know. It seems to me, at least, and again, I could be incredibly reductive in this. I don't know. But it just seems to me like this is just hey, sometimes we don't communicate everything that's important to the conversation when we start an argument. And we should do that more. And I don't know. I don't need 10 minutes to tell you that, I guess. I don't know.
I thought, We are still prepping and planning our next big project, the MCDM Monster Book. If you want an alert when it goes live, we have a link you can click down below.
This was 3 years
The
ago.
Beast Heart Minis are back in stock, so if you want a pet owlbear or a pet sporling,
Cool.
hie thee hence to mcdmstore.com. And if you don't know how a pet owlbear works or what a sporling is, you could pick up the Beast Heart, our new companion class for 5th edition. Thanks for watching, folks. We got a lot of different kinds of videos in the pike, so I don't know what you're going to see next. Something
pike?
cool, probably. Until next time, peace out.
I mean, I assume you meant pipe, but yes. All right. That was the problem with talking about D&D, is the fact that sometimes people don't say the things. I guess? And yes, it is a problem when I don't understand the context of what you're telling me. Yes, absolutely. If I don't have enough context, I won't be able to understand fully. That's just how it works. So, thanks, Matt. Thanks for telling me the thing that I've already kind of gathered from having conversations and watching videos. I don't... I don't mean to sound like a dick, but like, I suppose you'd be surprised at what people exist. Yes, that is true, I would. That is true. There are some times where I am very surprised about what kinds of people do exist. That is fair. Yeah, I don't know. But, hey, we got through it. This might be the shortest one so far, that we've done of the show. And I apologize for that. But those are the videos, and I really thought that we would have more to talk about with the Coville one. But I kind of like, at least I feel like I've gotten it pretty much off the bat, and there's not too much to discuss. It's more my... I guess questioning of if I even did get it. I guess it doesn't seem like. Again, I feel like it's so simple that I feel like I missed something. Anyway, let us move on to comments. I have no one to tell to leave at this point, so don't leave. That's right. You're here. You're listening to comments. That is a thing that you will do. So do it. We only have a couple of comments. So comments and chill shit. Here we go. Alrighty. So got a couple of comments. One from last episode. Few days ago. Again, apologies for the break in between, but you know. You're not my dad. True. I can't tell you what to do. That's right. Good on you. Don't listen to me. I'm not your dad. Stay here as directed, father. Oh god. Oh no. Timothy on last episode says, "Hello, bros, new lore. On a sunny afternoon in the Moon Valley, as a beam of sunlight fell up onto a sleeping tabaxi in a velvet armchair, a finished painting sitting next to him, Queen Veronica walked into the room. A smile came across her face as she gazed at the peaceful feline. It's almost like I'm looking after Leroy's house cat rather than a party member," she thought. Veronica quietly stepped closer to get a look at the painting. It showed a were-tiger riding a horse. The pale yellow fur was a dead giveaway that it was meant to be Renee. How cute, she thought. The past few days had been very stressful in the Moon Valley, the looming threat of attack putting everyone on edge, and on top of that, there was no word from Cornell's party in the Swamplands. Veronica was grateful for the support of Galvin and Massimo, which had made things easier, taking it upon themselves to do chores around the castle and General's Palace, without needing to do so. Massimo put on a stage show in the town square for all of the townsfolk. A maid came to clean. Maid. My queen, Veronica. Yes? I need to clean that chair our guest is sitting in. He's been there for 5 hours. He sleeps so deeply it's hard getting him up. I have an idea. What are the cooks making today? I saw some cherry pies cooling the last time I was in the kitchens. Oh, I could go for a cherry pie. Fuck. Very good. Go get one, please. The maid soon returned with the pie still warm from the oven. Veronica. You know what to do, maid. Yes, my queen. The maid held the pie under Galvin's nose, and he started to move. Galvin. Ugh, how long was I out? Veronica. About 5 hours, from what I hear. Maid. May I clean that chair, please? Galvin. Oh, my bad. Haha. Can I have a slice of pie? Veronica. Have some while we walk for a bit. The two walked down the hallway, Galvin munching pie as they went. Good on him. Galvin. Have you heard anything from Leroy and Cornell yet? Veronica. Sadly, no. Hopefully soon. I'm also waiting for a scouting report on the ones that sent the threat on my king and I's lives. I will not let them get away with such an insult. They will feel the error of their ways by my hand. Galvin. Is that a good idea with the little half-dragon bun in the oven you have? Veronica. If I can handle things before that bun grows too much, then I should be fine. But I appreciate your concern. Always here to help. Thank you, Galvin. Well, that's all I got. Have a nice day. Thank you. You have pecan pie? I'm fucking jealous. And give me some. Don't. You're fine. I'll get my own. Anyway, Lurker Z on our session 0 of Devils and Dice. Very interesting. I don't know. I honestly don't remember what we said in session 0, so here we go. I'd object so hard at nerfing the crit rule at a GM. Dude, it's my crit. If I fail, if I crit fail, I fall on my face and I could be dead next turn. Let me enjoy the full benefits of my good luck if I get it. I'm on the fence on the don't let silly OP things happen, but I'd go with what my table goes for, that part. There's fun to be had in the silliness of crits doing insane things, and it does take a bit from the game when you remove that. So, talking about crits and stuff, absolutely. Fucking do exactly what you want at your table, for sure. With the nerfing of crit fails and stuff, it's really just up to their discretion. I don't see I can try stuffing a slice into the router, but that might mess it up. True. Don't do that. Great show, bro. Thank you. But if that's what you don't, if you want that, absolutely go for it, fight for it. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. We just that's just not something that Boo wanted to deal with, I'm assuming. So, we didn't do it, as far as I'm aware, as much. There were times where, I don't know. It's just not how we did things, which is fine. And with the don't let silly OP things happen thing, we like our realism a little bit more in our games, just a little bit. And for us, that enhances the game a bit more. So, for us, it didn't take away from things. And plenty of insane shit happens in Devils and Dice. So, if you're watching this, I don't know, but if you are, don't worry. You know, a bunch of shit does happen. It's an anime campaign for a reason, right? Like anime inspired campaign, and there's a lot of weird shit that we do. Honestly, you don't have to worry. But yeah, we it's just the things of like walking on clouds and stuff. Basically, that's the silliness that we didn't really do necessarily. So, but yeah, thank you for the comment. I hope you enjoy Devils and Dice if you're watching this, and if not, I hope you enjoy Devils and Dice anyway. Whoop. Anyway, that's all the comments. So we move on to the end bit. This is the part where you can stop paying attention if you want to, because this is all the stuff that's more stuff about us. So if you go over to our website, TableTalk, dnd.us/support us further, you can go and look at all the things that I am talking about / will talk about in order to support us further than a subscription or liking the videos when they come out or commenting on the videos. Please do those things, those free things, And if you want to do more than that, absolutely come and if you have the ability, and please don't feel like it's an obligation, but you can do these other things if you wish. Okay. First off, we have a Patreon over here, patreon.com/tabletalk crew. Maybe I should put the TableTalk crew, but it's the TableTalk crew in general. You can join us, support us for as little as $1 a month if you wish to. And the same thing can be said for the Ko-fi if you want to, Ko-fi, however you want to call it. Little as $1 a month, you can become a table flipper. So go for it if you wish to. You can join these lovely people here. That being Draco Kraken, Rick aka Rico, and Steely in Tier 4. Thank you so much for joining and becoming gold table flippers, if you will. Also, a thank you goes to Crimson Rose at Tier 2. Thank you so much. And a thank you goes to our Tier 1 contributor. All of the benefits and such are joining our Discord, becoming table flippers in that. You can get access to editing streams when they are done, as well as other things once those are set up and done for table flippers. So yeah, I still got to make a video on audio and my setup for everything that we do here. For the show and everything, because that was a good idea for a Patreon kind of video for you. So I will do that at some point when I have some time. Some stuff is going on right now that's making it so that I have a little bit less time, and I have to take care of a few more things. So don't expect it too quickly. But maybe by the end of the month, we'll see. Anyway, so yeah. Links in the description for all that kind of stuff. And we also have our fourth wall shop. Wahoo, wahoo, hey. Go over there and you can get our custom dice. You can get coasters with each of the crew members on it. Even Brogan, who's a part of the TableTalk crew actual play podcast, where he is in the Devil's Dice as well as Vampire the Masquerade. Sunrise in Sin City, as well as a mug or this small mouse pad if you wish. I gotta work on getting a big mouse pad. There's also the large types, the biggins, so that's a thing. There's also a couple other things that I've hidden that are in the works still, and they'll come out when they come out, so go and get that kind of stuff if you want it. It's up to you. Please check it out though. And then, of course, you can donate to our PayPal if you want to. That's an option here. We used to have PayPal for a very long time that we used exclusively. It was a bad idea, let me tell you, as at this point, that it could have been really bad had I kept it that way, because PayPal isn't necessarily the most secure. But now, we don't necessarily have that as our direct way of keeping money. Anyway, we also have our affiliate, our partnership with Humble Bundle. Going over to Humble Bundle using the link in our description will give us a little bit of a kickback if you buy anything through Humble Bundle, whether it be through the choice, through the store, through the actual bundles themselves. Looks like Rogue Trader is in the July Humble Choice. Hey, go and get that if you have any interest in Rogue Trader. Death Store is also pretty cool. And I haven't played any of the rest, but I will at some point because I'm going to be getting this when it comes out, so because I'm still subscribed to them. As for bundles, there is, I saw, this was also promoted in our Discord, the Roll Big or Go Home RPG Mega Bundle with 57 items of core rulebooks for a bunch of different systems. Yo, Dishonored the Roll. Hey, Wildsea! Yo! We were talking about Wildsea a while ago. Wildsea is awesome. Call of Cthulhu's here. Cyberpunk Red is here. We've got Transformers. We've got Deadlands. We've got so many good stuff. In fact, I'll put a link for our specific one in the description for this bundle if I can figure out how to do that. And And also, I'll put it in our Discord as well. If you want to get this bundle yourself and support us a little bit. This is a great bundle, in fact. That's awesome. I need to buy this myself. So yeah, $40 for 57 things. That is fucking great. So go and see that. Oh, can I? This right here, this generate a link partner dashboard thing. I don't know if this necessarily works, but I'm gonna try it. Nope, it doesn't work. Okay. It's a Humble Bundle's a little weird now with how I can get things set. So, but anyway, Humble Bundle, great site. Oops. Last but not least, of course, we also are affiliated with Drive-Thru RPG, fiction, comics, and cards. I'm only going to go through a Drive-Thru RPG. It's linked in our description. But if you go on the store using the link or using any of these lovely little things that you can click, even, see? Ooh, you can go to any of those sections and buy anything. And within 15 days of using that link, you can give us a little kickback if you buy anything through it. So highly suggest going on and looking through and getting, well, this is just not loading for me. That's strange. But it has a bunch of newer stuff. It has some user-generated stuff. Definitely some, homebrew stuff and all that kind of jazz that you can get for little bits or whatever. Whether it be, whoa... Cool. Whether it be the PDF, some of them also let you get the actual, what's it called? The actual physical copy as well. So, Drive-Thru RPG, Drive-Thru Cards, Drive-Thru Comics, Drive-Thru Fiction, all that stuff you can find here in the Support Us page on the website. That's it. That's all the shilling. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for another episode. Hopefully we should be able to start up being more regular in the coming weeks. The heat is brutal most days, even in here in my constantly running AC. I'm still very warm, but sometimes I get cold, and I have my hoodie on, and, it makes me too hot. So, look forward to the next week for the next episode. Look forward to more digital distractions. We've got some plans. I had to set up a bunch of things in order for some things to work, and now I know a couple of things about some certain games. But yeah, it's fun times ahead. Roll big or go home, not being roll big or roll home is upsetting me. Fair. I apologize. But anyway, thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Go on.